conference like this. The same thing occurred with me. You meet leaders all the way throughout your profession as a law student, and you see the same faces everywhere you go. And it happens because we all started a conference just like this. So I want to congratulate everyone for being here because you have actually made an excellent decision just attending this summit because it is going to definitely impact your life in a positive way. I am Valencia Wallace. I'm a third-year law student at Thurgood Marshall School of Law, Texas Southern University. It's the third time we've heard that today, and you're going to hear it again from the next presenter that I have the privilege to present. I am a two-time National Director of the National Black Law Students Association as well as the Lieutenant Governor of Law Student Professional Development for the American Bar Association. The attorney who I have the pleasure of presenting was actually my professor last year at Thurgood Marshall School of Law. It is Attorney Ricky Anderson. He is a graduate of Prairie View A&M University, where he received a Bachelor of Business Administration and his Juris Doctorate degree, where he received his JD actually from TSU, Thurgood Marshall School of Law. He has been the managing partner of the law firm of Anderson & Smith, PC, with their office located in Houston, Texas, as well as an adjunct professor at Thurgood Marshall School of Law, where he lectures entertainment law, the class that I took, music industry contracts, and trial preparation. The law firm of Anderson & Smith represents celebrities, including comedian actor Steve Harvey, show of hands, who knows him, everybody. Academy Award recipient, comedian actress Monique, who knows her, everybody. Actor Isaiah Washington of ABC's Grey's Anatomy, four-time Grammy Award recipient, gospel great Yolanda Adams, one of my favorites, four-time Grammy Award recipient, gospel duo Mary, WNBA's three-time MVP and four-time WNBA World Champion Houston Comets Cynthia Cooper, former Houston Oiler and Tennessee Titan Eddie Robinson, and a host of others. In addition to the network television, movies, feature films, pay-per-view, and HBO deals that Ricky Anderson has developed, he is also the former chairman and CEO of the Black Broadcasting Network and former CEO and president of CBS Records. He is a majority shareholder in Big City Enterprises and has produced national concerts such as the Kings of Comedy, hilarious, Jazz Fest, The Boys Are Back, and the Hip Hop Comedy Reunion Tour. He is also the executive producer of the nationally syndicated music television show, Big City, and such independent feature films as Renegade, Beach Party Weekend, and many others. Attorney Ricky Anderson has held esteemed positions at the National Bar Association's Entertainment Attorney of the Year Award, as well as the National Bar Association's Presidential Award, and even our first-time National Video Spotlight for National Black Law Students Association, which I had the honor of doing with him last year. He also leads in organizations including the National Bar Association, Houston Bar Association, Grammys, Board of Governors, and the Reporting Academy for the Texas Board of Governors. So please join me in giving a round of applause for
Morning.
Good morning.
That'll wake you up this morning. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody? Good. Wow. God is good. I always thank him for letting me, let me come stand before you again. And my mother wanted me to be a minister, and I told her I do represent gospel artists. Getting close to this pulpit, every time I talk with one of my clients, and the one thing about getting started this time of day is that you either better be funny or you better be fast. So I'll probably do a little bit of both today. And if I talk too fast, it may just mean you listen too slow, so keep you on your toes today. First of all, before I go any further, I've got at least I've got to applaud my dean. He's here today. Dean Holly, please. I want you to stand, Dean Holly, please. Current dean up at Howard University that I was just there last week. Danielle, please, if you will. Johnson, did he leave? Wow, I say he deserves a round of applause. I don't care if he's gone. Last but not least, before I get on the way, is Evangeline, where is she at? Is she in the room? If she steps in the room, I'm stopping. I will stop what I'm doing because of what she's doing. It's so important. And before I move forward, and I just really try to make sure you know who you are and what you're doing. But usually when we've got a group of African Americans, this number, The reason on television, looting and raiding someplace, well, they're talking about they in prison. So anybody that's in this room deserves a round of applause. Please give these students. Evangeline Mitchell, what you are doing is outstanding. I salute you. I am very, very proud to be one of your sponsors, and I have been for a long time. I think everybody in this room should be on their feet for her. She's one of This is what we need. This is what we've got to have. I know I thank the two deans. I know Dean Jefferson, they acknowledge you. Are there any other law school deans in the room? Are there any other law school deans? Please stand. Please stand. We've got to respect what you do, because without you,
my Associate Dean, Joan Bullock. I'm Daryl Jones.
Would you please? One thing I say, and I don't say this to be disrespectful to my family, but I'm from a little small town called Benton Harbor, Michigan. It's still 99% black today. It's in southwest Michigan, and I grew up in a family of four, and I am the youngest of the four, and I'm the only one to graduate high school, and I've got 2 doctorate degrees, so I know the importance of education, and I represent to you. Other than my mother and my father, and again, I'm not being disrespectful, nobody has done more for me than Prairie View A&M University and Texas University. And I mean plan to do something big, and you got to take what you got and understand who you are and use it wisely, because I sit in your seat. I sit in your seat as a student, and to me it wasn't that long ago. I looked at how I could change the shape of how this world is structured. And so I'm going to take you a little bit back to memory lane and find out what you know. I'm going to make it a little intellectually stimulating, because I don't want you to leave the sound of my voice without learning something. And I also want you to know you've got an obligation, now that you've stepped into this room, to do something great. So you guys are the leaders of the future, and I need to hear you tell me, we are the leaders of tomorrow. I want to hear it.
We are the leaders of tomorrow.
Hey, I'm missing a couple of people. I didn't see the lips moving all the way around. Keep staying around the view. We are the leaders of tomorrow.
We are the leaders of tomorrow.
I think I'll get started now. Thank you. Let's talk a little bit about being an attorney. Who knows what attorneys are, where they started, what the history of being a lawyer is? Anybody? Do you know how big the entertainment industry is? And I'm going to be biased because I'm an entertainment attorney. Tell you a couple secrets. Okay, you know the Wright brothers were creating airplanes and everything, right? You know that. Hey, you know the Fords started making cars, and the Dodge brothers got together, and you don't know what law's about? Let me take you down memory lane. And law's been around a long time, mind you. Probably criminal law a little bit longer. I think Moses went up to the hill and they did 10 numbers and they don't steal. They still steal it today. I'm telling the truth. I'm not making this up. They said, don't kill. They still killing people today. So you look at that being you talk about criminal law, you got great job opportunities ahead. I'm just letting you know. Let's go back and look at the history of being an attorney. The formal system of law existed since Hammurabi erected his codes in the courtyards of the temples during his reign, back in Babylon. Back in Babylon. This is back with the empire, the Babylonian Empire in the 18th century. So law has been around a long time. And understand the history of attorneys, those that are professionals that are dedicated to exclusively the study and the interpretation and the application of law, is by far a lot more recent. But I just want you to know a little bit about it. Because if you know about Ford, if you know about the Wright brothers, if you're going to become a lawyer, you got to know about how the law has sort of taken itself through the beginning to the end. And I didn't say I got to be fast or I got to be funny. So I'm going to speed through it, bring you up to date. Again, the sophisticates are back in ancient Athens, and I don't mean Athens, Georgia. Athens, Greece. I got to keep everybody on track. They exercised a class of people who were considered to be something similar to lawyers. However, they were really more societal. And the Athens, and they called it Athenian law at that time, required the citizens to plead their own case. You couldn't have a lawyer. Back then, they said, listen, if you got a problem, you got to plead it. You can't have somebody else plead it. Persuasive than others. So what they started doing was saying, well, look, can my friend plead my case for me? And that's really what gave life to lawyers. Those people that were learned in the law, those that were more persuasive, they would actually request a friend to act as an advocate for them. So when you look back at history, and you can take it all the way back to Babylonia, you can take it to Athens, to Athens, Greece, but they actually said the only problem is we won't let you exact a fee to plead somebody else's case. Yeah, lawyering would have slipped down my list of priorities if they wouldn't pay me. I'm just sorry. That's a caveat. I got to lay it out there for you. But I'm going to give you the historical part. You could not get a fee at that time. And again, it's not always about the money, but it's kind of nice to eat. So, I'll continue to be an advocate for attorney fees as I tell you more. But again, those were the three elements that sort of gave birth to lawyering. Number one, they had these laws. Number two, they said, well, look, you got to plead your own case. And not everybody was as persuasive, and I think that remains true today. And that's why they'll say, listen, we need to have you hire an attorney so he can really talk to us and know the laws, know the rules, and it'll tell you about the first change. The first real development in the history of attorneys occurred in the ancient Roman Empire during the reign of the Emperor Claudius. That was in the first century. Long time ago. So when you start looking at what allowed us to become professionals and how quickly we became a professional society in the late 4th century, that's when the legal profession started to take shape. So understand that the study and practice of law, it then started creating regulations, some rules, some structures, and some standards, and it was really put in place for guidance. So again, it takes you back from Babylonia, bring you to Athens, and now bringing you fast forward to the 4th century. Now, during the Middle Ages, they really had a collapse of the Roman Empire, and essentially, law disappeared. It was gone. There was no more law. It just sort of disappeared. And but they did have what they call canon law. And the canon law was enforced by the church. Who knew that? Y'all knew it. Come on. Yeah? Okay, I'll see a couple hands. But I just want you to understand that you went from the law, okay, I ain't go back to Moses, though. Where the criminals are, that was just, okay, that keep you guys on your toes. But they were still in back then. Wow. Okay, the Middle Ages, again, when you had the collapse of the Roman Empire, the law just really disappeared. And to really give rebirth to law and the legal perceptions that we know today happened in the 13th century. So from the 13th century on forward, the legal profession began to emerge, and they had the big Magna Carta. Everybody knows what the Magna Carta is, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's the big, the big rule, the greatest charter ever, the Charter of Liberty. You got the right to freedom. If not, look that up. You need to just know that for giggles. So when you at these parties, you can talk to girls and let them know you really know where law started. Okay? And you got your ladies, when somebody comes up to talk to you, if they don't know where law started, intimidate those dudes so they'll educate themselves. So I need you both to work towards making us an intellectually astute society, but use that Magna Carta thing, law started back then. Back in England, remember? So yeah, a couple of buzzwords in there. It'll work for you. If you want to get real specific, let them know it was June 15 of 1215. That kills them every time. I guarantee you the room gets quiet. 1215? Yeah, I was a youngster back then, but back on 1215, the Magna Carta came into effect. And again, it was really about the church, and they were starting to protest. You had a king that was unpopular. You had some rebels that were out there. But again, I'll let that be a sidebar as far as getting up to date on that. Let's fast forward to America and the Revolution, and there being a greater need for the legal profession to manifest itself. And it really did. I mean, once the monarchies were broken, and they wanted to create democratic societies, we started to release having a single person or an individual appear to be the person that guides society. So with the concept of all citizens being created equally, the law really became the cornerstone of the democratic philosophy, and really that's what created the greater need for attorneys. So I know I took you fast and I brought your foot forward pretty quickly, but I want you to understand, if you can go and have a conversation about an aircraft, if you can go and have a conversation about a car, you get ready to get in the legal business, you need to have a conversation about this. So I encourage you to learn as much as you can. And the last thing I'm going to talk about, the brief history of attorneys is, it reveals the movement from us just having a loose society where we did not have control to a concept of us being able to advocate for rights, us being able to advocate and make a change, us being able to advocate and make a difference. And many of us, when I look around the room, when you go ask anybody or tell anybody that you're a lawyer, the first thing they say, I'm not in trouble. Therefore, I'm an entertainment attorney, neither am I. So, now can we advance this conversation? You may need to buy a business. You may be trying to incorporate a company. You may want to get on one of these television shows. Let's get out of that criminal space, even though that's out there. But that's just what we've got to start manifesting into our young people. Let them know there's an opportunity there. And I am going to be absolutely biased from this point forward because I'm going to talk about the entertainment industry. And I don't know what you know about it, but it's big. And I'll tell you about it and I'll tell you why. That's what my practice area is, and I didn't understand that back in the good old days. Is there anybody here from New York and LA? Yeah, you know how big it is, so you can plug your ears while I get this little spiel. As far as the gross national product for the United States of America, that's our GNP. That's our taxpaying dollars that allows this country to function. Did you realize that entertainment is in the top 10? Always. Always in the top 10. At least as long as I've been checking. If it falls off, don't hold me for the future, but I doubt it because this digital technology continues to grow as we're sitting in this room today. It's been as high as number 2. It's been as high as number 2. Just for giggles, if you got a spare minute, and I know you probably don't, just look what they call the U.S. Department of Commerce. They put out a report every month, and it tells you what the gross national product is. And again, entertainment's been high as number 2. Do you know what our number 1 gross national product is? Shame on you. Pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals? I know you're going to start guessing. Pharmaceuticals, you know, huh? I know in Asia, they got all kinds of computer technology over there. We got drugs. We get you healthy over there. I mean, we get you healthy. I mean, the real pharmaceuticals, I didn't say bad drugs. Pharmaceuticals, that's what we do. We're the best in the business. You got an ailment, we can fix it over in the United States. Please note that. But again, that's what's there. I know. Erase that off. Okay. Well, that's what you have the drugstore on every corner. But when you start looking at what we have in the entertainment industry, Atlanta is number 3 in the United States as far as the large. They surpassed Philadelphia and Chicago. Great market if you're down here in the Atlanta market. So they're number 5 in the world. And I don't mean to sound like a statistician, but I got to give you some facts so you know what you're relying on. Because when I talk to these kids in my classroom, and they're going to tell their parents that they're going to entertainment law, they go, "Are you serious? You get you a real good job." Entertainment law is not that bad. Yes, in the top 10, as I said, for gross national product. So please give that some consideration. As I said, I'll sound completely biased. And when you're looking for jobs, and I promised myself I wouldn't get into that because last year when I spoke, I talked about jobs and the employment rates and what the average wage is for new lawyers coming in. Okay, since you guys are new lawyers coming in, the employment rate is about 80%, 80 to 85%. It's not 100. And the average mean for an attorney that's starting out in law school is about $65,000 to $75,000 a year. And if you happen to be in that top 10%, you get hired by some of these bigger firms, you can make as much as 150. I said I was not going to talk about that, but I knew you wanted to know where the money was hidden. I gotta let you know where that's at. But that's what you've got right now. There's great opportunities, and if for whatever reason somebody tells you they couldn't find a job, just know they were probably that 10% that didn't. I'm not saying it's not true, but tell them just try a little harder, go back out there, get up and dust yourself off, and keep looking. But I'm going to share another bit of information with you. Where do you find the jobs at when you're in the entertainment industry? Do you go to the big firms? No. You go to CBS, they got a legal department. NBC's got a legal department. ABC's got a legal department. Clear Channel has a legal department. See, Walmart has a legal department. Target has a legal department. Best Buy has a legal department. And they pay these lawyers well. So please know, the old traditional look just into these law firms is old business. And I go around this country talking to different business owners, different lawyers. Because if you run your business like you did 20 years ago, you're really out of business. You just don't know it. You're the only person that don't know. You're on business. You run your business like you did 10 years ago, you're in pretty deep trouble. I promise you are, because I know. I've been in this business, and you have to embrace this technology. And that's the last thing that I'm going to touch with you young people, because, wow. Do you know how quickly and how easy it is for you guys to get this information? I was the first LexisNexis rep at Thurgood Marshall School of Law, teaching, the legal research electronically. I was working, it was me, Data Central at that time. I was the first rep. I was a rep at Thurgood Marshall, University of Houston, and South Texas College of Law. I would run around that city and try to show lawyers how to do digital research, because we all pulled out the books. And the books are great, it's just they heavy. Yeah, in my first year of law school, I had this backpack. I mean, those things were a ton. You got everything is online, so there is no excuse for you not having access to this information, but embrace it. Know that technology is your friend. And you gotta use it for more than just listening to music. You gotta use it for more than just watching Empire. And I love Empire, but you gotta do a little bit more than watch that. You gotta do some research. You gotta know what's out there. These numbers I'm giving you is because I read. I've got to be able to have an intelligent conversation with the Brian Myers of the NBC, who's the president and the CBS over the CEO over there at NBC Universal Pictures. I got to be able to talk intelligent to him. You know, he was the founder of the CAA, one of the biggest agencies in the United States. You know, and probably in the world. You know, they've got probably close to $2 billion worth of baseball contracts. So they're over the sports side, they're over the entertainment side. But those are the things you got to know. When I see these independent agents that are out here that are not with these big firms, they're doing their own things, and they got a couple of $1 billion worth of contracts with these major league teams, I know that it can be done. So with that being said, I've got to engage you. Use the technology for something other than fun. Let it be your friend. It gets you to the bottom line quicker. You've got to continue to research everything you do. As young lawyers, you must know. You've got to know. Because what I can't do is come up here going, I think it's A or it might be B. No, I got to go, it's C, and this is why. That's what good lawyers do. I expect you leaders of tomorrow to give answers to your clients, to give answers to your families, to give answers to your friends that are correct. Do your research, do your homework, do a good job. Because I need you, as you travel towards your law school ambitions, to understand what you just told me a few moments ago. You are the leaders of tomorrow, and I want to hear it again. We are the leaders of tomorrow. I'm missing a few moving lips. Let me hear that one more time. We are the leaders of tomorrow. And I expect you to do 3 things. Actually, I expect you to do 7, but I'll couple them together. I expect you to continue to be ambitious. And I don't know if you know what ambition is, but it's the showing a strong desire and determination to succeed. I need to see everyone in this room have showing a strong desire and a determination to succeed. I also want you to be courageous. You can't be distressed by danger or pain because it's not going to be easy in a law school. My daughter's a first-year student up at SMU right now, and she's calling me complaining like it was never I never heard her complain like this before, but I told her, I was a first-year student as well, so I feel your pain. And you also have to have courage. And courage is not what courageous exactly is, but courage means the quality of mind or spirit. That's the quality or mind of spirit that enables a person to face difficulties, anger, and pain. Difficulties, danger, and pain without any sort of fear. Without any sort of fear. Courage means the quality of mind and spirit to enable a person to face difficulty, danger, and pain without fear. Don't be afraid to sign up for law school. Don't run off because we had this meeting today and go, well, I'm going to do something else. You came here because you want to be a lawyer, and we want you to be one too. So understand that I mean that. Next thing, I need a commitment from you. I need you to state or qualify that you're going to be dedicated to the cause or the activity. You got to be committed to it. You know, the one thing about it, they say it's tougher after the fact. And it really is. But you know, we've got to be committed to each other. I want to have every last one of you talking to somebody 25 years later about getting into law school because it meant that much to me. It's been that, it's really done so much for society and my clients and my friends and my family that I want you to have that same sort of a commitment. I want you to have this one thing and it's called completion. It's the action or the process of finishing the task. You got to complete it. Don't sign up and walk away. Sign up, know it's tough, walk into it knowing it's tough, because that's true. Everything is hard. I haven't seen an easy job yet. I don't know one. Anybody know an easy job? So get me a memo on the way out so I can change professions. All of them are hard. So understand that you've got to get to completion. 2 other quick things, advancement. And I just talked about that. That's what advancement, you got to. I got to continue to advance these lawyers. God bless me to become one. He didn't tell me to just take it and hide in the corner. He said, share this as well as you share my word. Make these young folk that don't understand how important being a lawyer in the United States of America, make sure they get it. And guess what? I flew down here, I got up this morning, and I'm doing my job. I'm delivering the message. I just need you to go ahead and take it and pass it forward. I need you committed to it. I need you to advance the practice of law. Like I told you, they were stealing back with Moses as they go to the hill. It's just horrible. So they still doing it today. So the job is not done. I gotta have you guys come on board, work as hard as you can, and make this world a better place. And the last thing is perseverance. Perseverance, that's the steadfastness. The steadfastness of doing something despite the difficulty. That's the steadfastness of doing something despite the difficulty. And achieving the success. So again, I want you to remain ambitious, courageous. It's going to take courage to do it. You can't walk away from it. The practice of law is not easy. The bar exam, no joke, one of the toughest things I ever did in my life. But you'll pass it. Too many of us have done it. For you to say you can't. So I want you to make sure, I need you committed to it. You gotta complete it, but please don't forget the advancement of others in the industry. You gotta take the others along with you. We need you, we want you, that's why we're recruiting you, because we need new lawyers. Hey, I'm closer to the finish line than the beginning, I guarantee you. 54 years old, I'm not practicing for another 30 years. I'll be 90. I'm just going on a vacation with my wife. I'm sorry. I'm leaving jobs for you guys. I'm not going to hang around like some of these NFL players that need to retire. Just saying it is football season. But again, I need you to do this last thing for me. You are our leaders for tomorrow, and I want to hear it one more time.
We are the leaders of tomorrow.
I might have missed some lips over there, but let me check it this time. One more time.
We are the leaders of tomorrow.
But in closing, I need you to do one more thing. We'll say, I am ambitious.
I am ambitious.
I'm courageous.
I'm courageous.
I'm committed.
I'm committed.
To completing the task of law school.
To completing the task of law school.
And I promise that I'll advance the legal community.
And I promise I will advance the legal community.
Despite the difficulties.
Despite the difficulties.
That means you'll persevere. You are deserved a round of applause. Thanks for having me. And I got one little caveat, and I know I may get in trouble for doing it, but I think it's very important. I do have an entertainment law book that would be fun for you to learn something from. So if you need something that's fun for reading to get in the entertainment industry, go to attorneyrickyAnderson.com and just click on that book tab. Get that book, have some fun, call me, look forward to seeing you. If you guys, and I really do mean this from the bottom of my heart, if you got a question and you don't catch me today and you don't get my card, please send me an email. Again, God bless you. I'm looking forward to your continued success.